Good morning. Good morning. Okay, morning. Is that better? Get it. Just doing all right morning. Some of you maybe had a little extra fun yesterday evening, right? No, nobody had fun. Well, don't have any today either. None of that. So welcome to Raleigh and to NC State. My name's Stephanie Ward. I'm a dairy specialist in the animal science department, but also the launch director for our food animal initiative. And here today, we're going to start off the morning talking about AI and livestock and animal systems. And so I have the pleasure of introducing Sebastian Villegas, who's the CEO of Asimetrix. And in that role, he leads teams who transform data into actionable insights in the industry. Sebastian holds an MBA from the University of Bath, and prior to his role at Asimetrix, he had a lot of other roles that helped him refine his ability in data storytelling. And so I'm excited to hear what he has to tell us today. So, Sebastian, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Susan. So good morning, everyone. I'm Sebastian. I'm from Medellin, Colombia, in South America. And some Colombians here. I'm really happy and proud to be here. And thank you, Daniela, and everyone at NC State for making this event. So I was born in the city. I was raised in the city. I never went to a farm when I was young. I was those kind of people that think that eggs just come from a local farmer and it's pretty easy. And I had the fortune 14 years ago to start working in a nutritional company back in Colombia. And I learned and fell in love with this industry that is just the core of human life, like food, protein. And that's why I always have this card with me that it reminds me why I wake up every day. I'm gonna ask an easy question. Who knows how much does a dozen eggs cost right now? Raise your hand. Like straightforward, you know how much? Well, not many, but I guess all of you eat eggs every day. So we don't know how much an egg is because it doesn't matter if it's $2, $3. Well, 1 year ago was $6 to the outbreak, but we don't know. We just buy eggs because we like eggs. But this is not the same for everyone around the world. In developing countries like Colombia, if the eggs cost too much, that family will eat one less egg every day. And a less egg means, if you look at the brain scan on the top, the left side, it has fewer connections, and that's an undeveloped brain due to bad nutrition. And the same on the lower image is the size of the brain. This is something a kid will never recover from. And the difference between the left and the right is just one egg a day. So that's how we can actually impact lives with just helping protein producers deliver better food to countries. So I want to talk about what we are doing in Asimetrix. And I don't know if you've seen this farm. This is from Dyson, the same that manufactures the vacuum cleaners back in the UK. So UK has a problem producing their own food. So James Dyson, the owner, decided to build the perfect farm for producing strawberries. This is beautiful, this looks really great, but how easy is to implement this in every country to feed people? This is very specific. So sometimes the same goes with research. What are we doing that can actually become a great tool for producers to deliver better food? I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, there were appearing a lot of vertical farms, like with these UV lights inside containers. Almost all of those startups are already out of the market, especially due to energy costs. It was not sustainable. So this is beautiful, this is great, the perfect strawberries, but sometimes we need to think about the real farmers doing the work every day. So what things are trend and what are real impact? Halter was very big on the news last week because they raised like $200 million. They evaluated in $2 billion right now. It's a company from New Zealand. And they build collars to track cows and build virtual fences. So the cows didn't move out of their area. And they're growing very fast. On the left side, I don't know if any of you saw that video. It's just a drone that flies above the cows and measure the weight. I got that video sent by like 100 people. Like, guys, you should build that at Asimetrix. You should build that. But then you go and double click. It has a 10% error. You need a special drone. You need special conditions. So not everything that appears like breakthrough, it's a good business idea. And that's what happened. Oh, okay. Have you seen this as well? In China, they're building high buildings just to put hundreds and thousands of pigs inside of it. Also, PIC, it's modifying pigs for avoiding for avoiding pears. I'm gonna skip this one very fast. So what are we doing at Asimetrix? What have we learned in the last 15 years about what actually it's just emotion of the day and what actually helps build tools for farmers? So we are a knowledge company. We're a team of 25 people. We belong to a big nutritional group. And so this is a little bit where we are right now. We have Pig Vision, which is a camera that allows to weigh pigs in real time. We have InSilo, that's for silos to measure feed consumption. Pig Vision is actually installed here at NC State University. And we have IoT devices measuring real-time information from all around the continent. So Pig Vision, 7 years ago, we thought, how do pig producers make decisions? They take a weight at the beginning of the phase 3 and at the end. They don't know what's going on during those 120 days. Everyone thought weighting pigs with AI was a great idea. Who doesn't think that? But then, when we had a product, no one wanted it because it was hard to install, hard to take value, it was expensive, and we just focused on an office for years developing a tool that then was not solving anything. So my first message here is keep always an ear on the ground, be close to producers, try to understand their problems. Of course, we started talking more. We have some allies, people that were allowing us to try our system in their farms. And we've learned how we could actually deliver value out of this. So right now, what we are doing, so this is an installation in this is how farms look in South America. Not most of all of them, but very simple farm. So we had to learn how to get Wi-Fi in a farm. 5 years ago was really, really complicated. So for example, Pig Vision, it only needs 2 megabytes speed. We process most of the images inside the camera, because if you're going to upload to the cloud video, it's going to be very expensive. Processing in the cloud is very expensive. You need high internet speed. So when researching, you need to think about your client. You need to think about their condition. Electrical outages out in the field are very common. A lightning might strike the farm, so we need to protect it with an internal battery so they don't get burned. When they are cleaning the farm, the guy in charge of cleaning won't say, oh, look, there's a Pig Vision, I'm going to protect it. No, they just put everything on it, so it needs to have IP67, it needs to be protected. So all of these things didn't happen from the morning to the next day, but it's about going into the field, understanding, speaking with the producers. Last year, we installed 3 times more Pig Visions than in the last 8 years, because also the moment is better. We now have internet access in most of the farms, whether it's Starlink or a local provider. And we've developed some tools to better install this system. So we created, with the data we are already capturing by the cameras, tools to help producers make decisions. So for example, we are tracking average daily gain on a daily basis. If we see that the daily gain is slowing down, we can send an alert. That's a symptom that the animals might be sick, there is a problem with the water, with the feed. Also, we can forecast weights, so producers will know when they will achieve their objective weight. So these are some of the things we've been doing. So this is the anomaly detector, the weight projections, OptiMarket. What is OptiMarket? If you know, in swine production, achieving uniformity is very important, and it's one of the hardest challenges out there, because you don't know how much your pigs are weighing, and well, they're animals, so they will have a standard deviation. So what we do is we project weights, and we tell you exactly when you should start in taking the pigs out and how many. So let's say your objective is 240 pounds. So we'll let you know when you will have at least 50, 60, 100 animals very close to 240 pounds, so you start making the cut. And it creates you a calendar on when you shouldn't take the animals out. This sounds very good, but then there is a truck that's coming tomorrow. There is a marketing team that doesn't care about OptiMarket. So real life, sometimes it's very challenging with these kind of tools, even though if they look pretty good. And finally, we have phases tuning. What we do is when we have measured more than one batch, at least 3, we can understand the performance of each phase during the whole growth phase. So what we'll do is give nutritionists tools to understand how their feed is performing on each phase. So whether it's phase 2, that's the worst, or when there is a change from phase 2 to phase 3, or you are putting some antibiotics and are affecting your growth speed. So this is really good. Again, challenges. For example, in Colombia, nutritionists are changing the feed all the time. Here in the US, no one touches the nutrition. It's just winter and summer. So great tool, but no one's willing to touch sometimes the formula. Then, so we have the weight. We need to know the consumption. We develop in Silo, which is a sensor that has a 3D camera that can understand how the feed is distributed inside the silo. This one was pretty straightforward. Everyone wants to know the silo weight. We used to have the scales underneath the silos, but that's become very hard to install and maintain. So this is a solar panel with internet connection that can connect anywhere in the world. So we have now real-time weight, real-time consumption. So what would be the next logical step? Anyone? With feed and weight would be feed consumption rate. So feed conversion rate, sorry. So we had all these tools, and we wanted to deliver feed conversion rate, the most important indicator on any swine production system. Again, it sounds very good, but what do you need to know the feed conversion rate? You need the number of animals, the feed, the pig vision. Pig vision has a 3% error. In Silo has a 3% error. So you're adding 2 times 3% error. You have the initial number of animals, but you don't know the death rate. You don't know how many animals are at the end of the... So all these kind of questions start to appear, and you need to talk with producers, with data scientists, and put all these dots together. So when a data scientist comes from, I don't know, he just studied economy, it's very hard to make him speak this language. So it's a part of the process, how we put all this kind of knowledge together, how we teach our data scientists to understand production. So, for example, we have something called Asimetrix Academy. So every 2 Thursdays, we put all the team together, and we bring an expert in swine production or nutrition, because it's important to learn how are we measuring results, what's going on. So, for example, feed conversion rate. Should we take it accumulated, or every week, or every day? So every day was very hard. The error would be just huge. So we started working with different models, understanding how we could achieve a better certainty on the outcome. So for example, right now, we are assuming 0% death rate for feed conversion rate. Why? Because it's very hard to get the numbers of deaths in real time. There's still not a way, or we haven't found. We are thinking maybe an agent in WhatsApp might do the work. So we start modeling what would be the error with 0% death assumption, with a 3% error in Silo, with a 3% error in pig vision. And with all this, we started building a model, and now we have feed conversion rate calculated throughout the whole fattening phase with around 5% error. And this is by learning, understanding, putting all this kind of knowledge together. So from the weight, the consumption, obviously, when it's accumulated, the error will lower down because it's more exact. The same with the weight. So that's what we are doing right now. We are learning how to put all this information together and deliver real value to producers. Again, ROI. This is very important. I saw great papers yesterday. Don't stop doing research because ROI, but it's important at the end. Like these people are really, really working to earn a cent, additional cent on every pound of meat sold on the market. So we need to traduce all these capabilities, all this technology into return, into investment, into value for producers. So for example, we learned that producers are leaving on average on the table 9 pounds per pig per flock. Where do the 9 pounds come from? Inefficiencies, problems with nutrition, management in the farm, weather. So if the animals are stressed because they are cold and you're not monitoring that properly, the animals will not win enough weight. One day of a silo without feed will cause around 1 pound loss weight for the pigs at the end of the flock. So just one day without feed. So if you're not monitoring the data, if you're not making decisions with this, you're living around 9 pounds on average. This is around $10,000 on a batch of 1,000 pigs. So this is a lot of money. And something very important here is how to measure the impact. So I sell Pig Vision. It sounds wonderful, great technology. How can I attribute the better performance to the system when you have genetics improving every couple of months, when you have nutritionists doing their work, when you have weather that might be better, might be worse affecting the animals. So tracking all this data is hard, but it's part of the process, learning, trying to connect all the silos of information and helping them make better decisions. So here again, we have about $28,000 per year of feed in a farm that can be lost to feed loss. So guys, with AI, so Pig Vision uses machine learning models. Before LLM was becoming popular, we train our system to identify pictures of the animals, and we have like a model was trained like with 1 million pictures. We would send interns to farms just to weigh pigs, take picture, weigh pigs, take picture. We train the system. So now we were with machine learning. Now we are using the AI trend because it's AI. But sometimes it's the ideas that come with this kind of technology. What can we build around the data we have, the access of the technology, and deliver greater productivity to swine producers? And with AI, you don't know, guys, what's going on in companies. It's just crazy. So everyone is talking about AI, everyone. So they have HR AI. At the end, the only one doing real AI is the intern alone in an office speaking with no one. This is happening a lot. It's happening a lot. Now it's with vibe coding, a lot of problems are coming. I don't know. There are news about companies being hacked every day. So Cisco was hacked yesterday. Claude got their whole code filter on the web 2 days ago. So we gotta be very careful. Amazon got its webpage down like 2 months ago because someone vibe coded and put it into production, and it didn't stand like the real. So how we use AI to improve our processes to better achieve results, and just not like AI doing things by itself. So what we see in Asimetrix going on right now in the field is animals are very close to biological limits, like feed conversion rate in pigs under 2. It's going to be very hard. broiler, we are around 1.5, 1.4. Some farms are achieving 1.3. You can be lower than that, the lower, well, 1 would be optimum, but well, only fishes, they have less than 1 because they eat some things on the water and not feed. So if we are very close to biological limits, there are like, and nutrition, it's very, very clever right now. Like, I mean, animal nutrition, it's way ahead of human nutrition. It's more investment and research. So we see challenges in biosecurity. Many companies, they speak about biosecurity, but do they really take care? They are using cameras, they are using technology. And with health issues, there are a lot of opportunities here. With AI, I think we could achieve great things in health, in animals. So that's something we are working. Labor, so we have the robot that you're building to replace a labor problem in the farms, which is not only in the US, it's everywhere. Even in developing countries like Colombia, India, people, they don't want to work in a farm. It's very heavy work, it's complicated, so technology should help us here. So my final message here is how we can create impact. So by digitalizing the farms, capturing data, IoT systems are very easy to install and deploy nowadays. There's a lot of technology, computer vision. Again, every time there is like a new research of someone tracking real-time pigs movement, and they can detect if they're sad, if they're happy. Beautiful, but how can I deploy this in a house with 50 pens, 2 rooms, and they have 150,000 sows? It's very complicated. So we'll need to understand how that research can be actually implemented and solve problem. So get in love with the problem, not with the solution. Sometimes we are just, because I have a camera that can track real time, and I fell in love with the camera. But what's actually the camera solving? Sometimes the solution is easier. It might be a rule, and I just can put a rule on the pig and measure them and make a faster decision than installing hundreds of thousands of cameras. I'm attacking myself. But it's sometimes like that. And to understand that, you need to be on the field, talk with the producers, and that's part. Also, digital twins. I saw a paper yesterday about digital twins in cows. There is one of the panels tomorrow or today about digital twins. So how we can build models to help farmers make better decisions, understand what-if scenarios, and improve their results. Cross-disciplinary collaboration. I think this is the most important. We cannot be silos. So we need nutritional people talking with people in the farm, health, technology. All these areas of knowledge are very important to be interconnected. And sometimes it's really hard. It's really hard to make data talk. So for example, every time it's like, okay, I want to connect nutrition from this client with the results, with the environmental data. So we have sensors installed, we have the production, the productive results. And then we go into nutrition, and the nutritionist did 50 different formulas. We don't know what actually the animals ate. And it's very hard to connect sometimes the data. There is not like a key telling me this animal ate this is the result, this is the environment, that's a real challenge. It's not an easy one to solve, but that's why we need to think how to build better data systems and how we can be able to connect the data. And now with LLMs and all that's going on with AI, I think to have proprietary data, it's very important. How are we building new data that can be integrated with this system, that we can train the system to use this proprietary data? So with Peak Vision, right now we have around 800 cameras installed through all the continent. What are we going to do with that data? We have millions of pictures, because every time the camera is waiting the pig, it takes a picture, it takes a picture, it takes a picture. Can we train it to detect a healthy symptom? Can we train it to detect, I don't know, if they are fighting each other, if they are cold, just by a picture, because we cannot upload video. It would be very, very challenging from the farms. So these are the things we can start doing with all the data we are creating, and how we can actually improve results. So when thinking about ROI, guys, those who are doing research or want to be, always think about how you can impact the cost of the producer by generating savings and how you can improve the performance. So those are like the two sizes of every farm or company. Yeah, and strategic. Not everything is money. Sometimes just allowing people to make better decisions in real time, to have conversations in the company. You don't know how many conversations we allow companies to have just by showing the data. That's very valuable. Just sometimes showing a graph, a good information will, and you can see the faces of the companies. Did you know that? Like it sometimes it's so obvious, but when you look at the data, it's like, oh wow, we didn't know we were losing on phase 2 when the animals change the diet. Their growth speed slows so fast, and no one knows that. So the conversations are very important. So what's coming on next? Well, let me put your picture here. I think with all that they are doing with AI and data, I'm very excited about how we can merge hardware with AI. And putting hardware, I mean, can be sensors, can be a device, how we create actions inside the farms by merging AI into real hardware technology inside the farms. And I think that's something very excited where we could be looking at, of course, with data software analysis, there's a lot of value, but putting devices inside the farms that can measure or create actions that could bring a lot of value to the system. So, and yeah, well, you might know all these projects that are coming out. So, processing power will be much higher every couple of months. Well, we have energy challenges, so they are talking about putting underwater computing center. They're saying that SpaceX want to build the data centers on space and with using the Starlink system to just send the information back to Earth. So I don't know, a lot of things are happening today. It's the launch of the mission to the moon. After 50 years, we are coming back to the moon. So it's our exciting times, how we can use technology to produce better at a lower cost food for people and avoid having these kind of situations in a world that's so advanced technologically, but still people do not have access to a daily egg. So thank you very much.
Good morning, and thank you. Erdogan Memeli from Prairie View A&M in Texas. You mentioned earlier on the threats like cybersecurity. Can you comment on integrated systems to make digital egg more resilient against cyber hacks?
That's something that's challenging right now. We try to keep up with cybersecurity, but that's something we get worried all the time. Just data leak showing the performance of results. I don't know how many of you guys know, but swine producers, broiler producers, they are very competitive among each other. They are same industry, but their confidential data is really important. They don't want us, the numbers to be out there, the performance, the feed conversion rates, the mortality. Just imagine a salmonella in an egg producer that they're trying to get hold, and then I have a data, and that data gets leaked, so everyone knows that this company has salmonella. The sale will go very bad. So it's complicated right now with agents trying to hack all kind of systems. We need to be very, very careful. We're trying also to learn that there are also agents now built to protect your system. So now it's agents against agents, but yeah.
Any other questions? Over here.
Two hands. Okay, here's one.
Thank you for this presentation. Gami Shrestha, independent consultant, carbonist.org. I was wondering, I missed the early part of your talk, so sorry about that. So what do you think, so, like globally, and then we know who are the major players in AI in ag at this point, but in the future, there are several other nations, other companies, right, and including yours, like you're doing some great work. How can we all be ready for a future where we're really working together and really thinking about those people or the companies or the systems that we're already not thinking about, instead of just thinking about China right now, right? Or, whoever else is in the news every day. I'm sure you've thought a lot about that.
Oh, I think these kind of spaces where we connect to each other, but I think there is a key actor in this, and it's academia. How through universities, through a space like this, we can collaborate and put together efforts. I mean, companies are competitive. At the end, they want to win the race, but it's not a cake that needs to be sliced and who takes the bigger piece of the cake. It's sometimes we can build a bigger cake together. So there's enough space for everyone. So I really believe in collaboration and sharing what companies are doing, and I think spaces like this, academia, and I don't know, like being in the conversation on the field with customers on the spaces around, that's going to build a lot of traction for improving.
Hello, Ricardo Majan. I wanted to ask a little bit about maybe the smaller producers. I think majority of farmers around the world are small producers. So I think when it comes to larger companies, it's easy to see the adoption and implementation of these technologies. So I wanted to see if you could speak a little bit more as to maybe extending these technologies to those smaller producers that have less resources. Do you think that's going to have to be in conjunction with government? What about developing countries that maybe don't have as much subsidies as first world countries? Just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Perfect, great question, and that's a challenge we face every day. Usually, most of the countries is the same. Like a couple of companies, they own the 80% of the market share, but that 20% that's left, it's hundreds of companies of small producers, and that's why we try to work very close to these kind of producers, understand their challenges, and we try to put metrics on house sizes. Like, it's the same if it's going to be 100 houses or just one house, the return of the investment must be the same. So you need to understand the units of a producer, because not everyone has the same challenge. So for a company with 300,000 sows, I don't know, the challenge might be getting the pigs 2 pounds extra in the same day. But for a small producer, it might be, I don't know, lowering its mortality. So you need to understand the challenge of every company. Every company has different objectives. But at the end, and what I told you, we try to build systems that are like any company could acquire them. Like, we really work very close. We have producers with just a couple of houses using our technology, because at the end it's gonna take the result. On the other hand, with big companies, it's also complicated because the investment is really high. So you have 300 silos, 100 houses. This is gonna be a lot of money. So at the end, it's the same conversation. It's about the return on the investment, how you are delivering value, whether it's going to be something with health, achieving lower mortality, achieving better results. So it's taking into account all the variables for a producer and how you understand them and help them produce. So for example, at the beginning, when we started with all of this, we would send people to install our equipment. It was very expensive. Here in the US, for example, it's a challenge to get an electrical outlet to every pen to install a Peak Vision, because it needs to be a certified electrician. That's a lot of money. In Colombia, just anyone goes, puts a cable and connects it. So those kind of things are the things you need to understand. So we work in the last year, improving the way you configure our peak vision system, how you install it. So we did videos, manuals, we changed the setup. So it's very easy for anyone in the middle of nowhere just to put a peak vision. So those are the kind of challenges you need to think about, how you are. It's not just the technology, it's the UX, how you implement it, how you install, how you start taking decisions with that. It's a big system, and you need to take into account everything to being able to solve everyone's problems. Not at the end, it's not everyone's, but most problems.
Good morning. My name is Olumide. Um, thank you for the nice presentation. So I'm a PhD student in Auburn, and 2 years ago we started this research characterizing temperature variation in commercial broiler houses. We came up with a very brilliant model that we can apply in other houses on the farm. But one of the challenges is that these experiments are expensive to set up on a single farm. So how can you develop a model that can be generalized across different farms so that you reduce money on experimentation?
The big challenge. When we started developing IoT devices, we didn't know how they could deliver value. It's just, we found some partners where they allowed us to install our equipment. We were trying wind, ORP, pH, water consumption, water temperature, humidity, temperature, light, ammonia, CO2. And you need to understand how each of these variables might affect and where there is real value. So for example, we found that CO2 in broiler production was not really a problem, but ammonia is. So when the bed it's been reused so many times, the ammonia becomes really a problem. So ammonia, we need to focus on ammonia, understand how it affects the birds, how it affects feed conversion rate, mortality. So it's a process. It's a process. And when you want to really scale up, you need systems like you said yesterday, you need systems put in place to help you. So for example, we have a partner company that builds all our IoT devices at a very low cost to try to make them exponential, and so anyone can buy them. So you need partners, whether it's in your country or in China, to allow to achieve really good costs and being able to deliver value. But it's complicated. It's complicated sometimes. Transforming all this information into valuable action that can be deployed across all farms it's a challenge, but it's part of the journey.
It's 9:10 now.
Don't worry about
Is that okay? Thank you so much, Sebastian Villegas.
Thank you.